Hey, what's going on, guys? Max, welcome back to another show episode, another reaction. Today we got a different one for you. We got a food reaction. We are reacting to foreign foods that are banned in the United States. So without further ado, I'm gonna see if I know any of these, if I've had any of these before, and we'll get right into it, shall we? Drop a like and subscribe if you are enjoying it.
To state the obvious, Americans love food. And in the US, you can buy anything imaginable at restaurants, farms, markets, and other stores. Well, almost anything. The US Food and Drug Administration has banned many foods from being sold or eaten in the United States for various reasons. So,
Let's see
today
if we
we're
have
going to
it.
take a
Oh,
look
the
at some foreign
Kinder
foods that
one.
are not
I know
allowed
it's
in the
coming up.
USA. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other funky food topics you would like to hear about. Now, let's take an illicit trip on the wild side of food. Scotland is known for a number of wonderful things, like Scotch whiskey, bagpipes, and Sean Connery. But it's also known for eating haggis.
Haggis?
Oh,
Haggis,
haggis.
for those who don't know, is a type of pudding composed of the liver, heart, and lungs of a sheep, mixed with beef and oatmeal, then seasoned with onions, cayenne peppers, and other spices. This mixture is then packed into a sheep's stomach and boiled.
Ugh.
Revolting!
This might not sound appetizing to everyone, but Scottish people are really into it. In fact, haggis is the national dish of Scotland, and if you get it there, it's usually accompanied by turnips and mashed potatoes. Americans who like haggis, however, are out of luck because haggis is currently banned from being imported into the United States. The U.S. banned all foods that are made from animal lungs in 1971. Since then, Scotland has made several efforts to influence the U.S. into lifting the ban on haggis and changing federal food safety regulations, but they've come up short each time. Too bad Sean Connery isn't around to ask them.
You see, I don't like like liver and heart. I don't like organ meat. I'm not upset about it. Beluga caviar.
Sometimes the U.S. bans foods for health concerns about the dish itself, but there are other reasons John Q. Law might stop you from enjoying a particular meal. For example, to protect an endangered species. Such is the case with beluga caviar. Caviar is, of course, fish eggs. Beluga caviar comes from the beluga sturgeon, which is the largest of the sturgeons, weighing more than 2,000 pounds and measuring more than 15 feet long. It can take up to 25 years for the female beluga to mature and produce eggs. Beluga caviar varies in color from light to dark gray and is the largest grain caviar. Their pearls are the most delicate and have a mild, buttery flavor. In 2005, however, the United States banned beluga caviar from further import due to overfishing. The U.S. was consuming about 60% of the world's beluga caviar, which is considered the Rolls-Royce of caviar due to costing $200 per ounce.
I think I've had this before.
In fact, beluga caviar was so desirable that the available stock declined by 90%. Overfishing of the beluga can mostly be traced back to poaching in the black market, but that's just academic now. The bottom line is, no beluga caviar for Americans anymore.
Mirabelle plum. What is this?
So as we've seen, the U.S. might ban a food for being unsafe, or because it
Unsafe.
derives from a species at risk. But there's yet another reason a food might be banned.
Oh, is it too
Trading
good?
concerns. Take the Mirabelle plum, which is the small, oval-shaped and dark yellow fruit grown on the Mirabelle plum tree. It's sweet and full of flavor, and is used in fruit preserves and dessert pies. The fruit can mostly be found in France, where
Oh,
70% of the world's Mirabelle production occurs. The production of the Mirabelle plum has been supported since 1996 by a protected geographical indication to help guarantee its authenticity. The protected origin designation makes it illegal to import or commercially sell the plums in the U.S. That being said, regular folks can grow them on their own property, as long as you don't try to sell them.
Oh, this is a big one.
Unpasteurized milk, or raw milk, is milk that comes directly from an animal's udder and hasn't been heat treated or pasteurized to kill any bacteria. Sounds great, right?
Oh, indeed it does.
Well, it may not be. Raw milk carries a higher risk of being contaminated with harmful bacteria that causes foodborne illnesses than pasteurized milk does.
I've actually had raw milk, and I've had raw cow milk, and I've had raw goat milk before. It's a taste that it's definitely tastes a lot different than like regular milk that we're used to drinking here. Because I grew up in Europe for a little bit. I lived there for I was born there and I lived there for a little bit. But I've had this before because my grandma's neighbor had cows on her farm. I've had this before, and my grandma had a goat. Anyways, but I've had it before. It's really I've had it like straight out, and it was in a warm bucket, and I've had it before. I don't remember the taste of it now, but that's just how kind of like like everyone was like used to drinking milk on the farms. They just kind of drank it. They didn't heat it or anything. When I was still. Yeah, I've had
Children, in particular, are at a higher risk for these diseases because their immune systems have not yet fully developed. The FDA banned the interstate sale or distribution of raw milk in the U.S., but states are able to adopt their own laws of the sale of raw milk. Given the risk, you might think that states would want to stop people from drinking the stuff, but not so much. In fact, drinking and consuming unpasteurized milk is 100% legal in all 50 states. That being said, only 13 states allow the sale of raw milk in retail stores. Of the other 37, 20 states prohibit the sale of raw milk, and 17 states allow the sale of raw milk on the farm in which it was produced. And at the very least, many of the states that allow the selling of raw milk require a warning label informing consumers about the risk of pathogens that can be found in the milk. There is currently something of a movement in the United States to consume organic and locally grown foods. Some believe that raw milk is more nutritious and provides good bacteria for the body.
What is this?
Sassafras oil is extracted from the
Sassafras?
dried root bark of the sassafras tree. The tree, in case you want to go looking for one, stands anywhere from 20 to 40 feet tall, with slender branches and orange and brown colored bark. The leaves are oval and can grow to 3 to 7 inches long, and the
All right.
flowers are small and of a greenish or yellow color. Historically speaking, sassafras has played a big role in various cultures around the world. For example, many Native American tribes use it for various medicinal purposes, including to help with acne, urinary disorders, and fevers. It can also be found in Chinese medications to help treat rheumatism and trauma. The twigs from the plant were once used as toothbrushes, and
What?
sassafras was also used as an early anesthetic and disinfectant. Not only that, but sassafras was found in many distinct foods in the U.S., and it was known as a key ingredient in many root beers and teas. Sounds
Why do
pretty
we
useful, right?
Yeah, why do we
Well,
stop,
Don't start celebrating just yet. The FDA prohibits all sassafras bark, oil, and saffrole as flavorings or food additives. Sassafras is no longer considered safe for human consumption. It was actually banned all the way back in 1979 after research linked it to cancer. Also, when too much sassafras oil is consumed, poisoning can possibly occur.
Okay.
The ortolan is a small,
Ortolan?
colorful bird in the bunting family, a category that also includes American tree sparrows. Once upon a time, in a faraway land called France, the ortolan was a chief ingredient in a highly controversial meal. The recipe called for the bird to be cooked for 8 minutes and served with a head attached. The bird was then meant to be eaten whole, including the head and bones. Due to its
Why?
rarity, the killing and selling of the ortolan was banned in France in the 1990s. But that didn't stop poachers who continued to catch the small bunting and sell it to local restaurants. In fact, the law was so inconsequential that France's League for the Protection of Birds claimed that the ortolan population dropped 30% even after the ban was enacted. This forced the government to enact more stringent enforcement in 2007. But the killing of the rare bird is less controversial than the barbaric way in which
What?
it is killed. It starts with the birds being trapped during their migratory season and kept in covered cages. Since the ortolan eats more at night, covering the cages cruelly tricks them into gorging on grain, even to the point where their bodies double in size. This is a
Oh.
less gruesome variation on an alleged ancient practice in which the bird's eyes would be plucked out, fooling them into thinking it was night so that they would eat more. Either way, once the ortolans are fattened up, they're thrown, still alive mind you, into a vat of Armagnac, which both drowns and marinates them. France now
Oh,
strictly
no.
enforces the ban on killing ortolans. In fact, the killing, cooking, or smuggling of the bird anywhere in the European Union or the United States is currently a crime.
So bad.
Kazumarzu, translated into English, means rotten cheese.
Oh.
And if that doesn't sound horrible enough to you already, then allow us to point out that it's also known as maggot cheese.
Oh no. I would never eat
Now you're
that.
probably thinking something like, okay, it has a disgusting name, but it's just a name, right?
Oh.
Well, this Sardinian cheese is typically soaked in brine, smoked, and then left to ripen in a cheese cellar. So far, so good. But then cheesemakers set it outside, uncovered, allowing cheesing flies to lay eggs inside it. The eggs hatch into maggots, which start feeding on the cheese. The maggots produce enzymes that promote fermentation and cause fats within the cheese to decompose. The cheese becomes super soft and leaves a burn on the tongue when eaten. Local Sardinians say the cheese is only good when the maggots are still moving. If the maggots are dead, then the cheese has gone bad and is too toxic for consumption. Kazumarzu is not in compliance with European Union hygienic standards.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or
Yo,
personal
chat.
loans may
There's
qualify
no
for
way.
help from National Debt Relief. Getting started is easy, and the process has already helped.
There's no way. Oh, okay, I knew this one.
Movies like 1975's Jaws make it seem like
Dude,
humans have a
okay,
lot to fear
pause.
from
I need
sharks.
to pause. I need to pause. Maggot cheese. That's like a punishment, I feel like, if you eat it. That's disgusting. I don't think I could ever eat that. With the maggots and stuff. Nope, I don't even want to think about
In
it. Never mind.
reality, the reverse is far more true. In fact, finning, the act of cutting off a shark's fin, is one of the greatest threats that sharks face. It's so dangerous because after a shark is finned, it's thrown back in the sea where it may drown, bleed to death, or be eaten by other animals. Unfortunately, for those who want to protect the sharks, there is still a large market for shark fins to make shark fin soup, which is a popular and luxurious Asian dish. Shark fins are very popular in Asia and can be found in food stores, pharmacies, and fishing villages. The demand for shark fins has led to sharks being targeted solely for their fins. But don't expect to try that soup in the US anytime soon. The practice of finning is illegal in the United States.
Good. That's so, like, terrible. Why would you,
Ackee appears to be a very delightful and delicious
Oh.
fruit, but appearances can be deceiving. For if the ackee is improperly eaten, it can cause vomiting or even lead to a coma or death. To do it right,
What?
you need to know that the ackee's fruit's protective pod turns red and naturally opens, revealing the edible portion, which is the many yellow aril that surround the toxic black seeds. The ackee fruit is originally native to West Africa, but was brought to Jamaica in 1778. In Jamaica, the harmful effects of ackee fruit are known as Jamaican vomiting sickness, and they're comfortable enough with it to have made it Jamaica's national fruit. The fruit can be tried in Jamaica paired with codfish, which is a popular dish. In the US, however, the FDA banned all ackee, though they later
I've definitely had this when I went to Jamaica. I've definitely had this before. I don't remember what it tastes
allowed the sale of frozen or canned ackee. The import of fresh ackee is still banned. The Kinder Surprise
These used to be the bomb. I remember these. I would eat these a lot when I was a kid, when I was younger. I used to love Kinder eggs. I used to love them, and then they disappeared.
egg is a hollow chocolate egg that holds a plastic capsule that contains a toy.
I remember
The toy
that.
is usually a simple
Fire.
collectible, like a tiny bike or miniature beach bucket and pail. They are widely popular and are sold across the world, except in the United States.
They're so
Not that it's
fire.
hurting them any. In fact, even without the help from U.S. markets, Kinder sells more than 3.5 billion surprise eggs each year. Kinder surprise eggs have always been illegal in the United States. The 1938 regulation made it illegal to sell any candy that contains a non-nutritive object. Several efforts have been made to import the chocolate egg into the U.S., but the federal government has continued its ban and recalled the item each time. Luckily for U.S. consumers, Kinder also makes the Joy Egg, which is a more recent version that separates the toy
These
from
are
the
dumb.
chocolate in two sealed
The-
halves.
these are
The
stupid.
Joy Egg meets FDA regulations and is compliant with the Consumer Product Safety Commission. It's not exactly the same as the Kinder Surprise.
These are
but it's
stupid.
close enough so the fans across the U.S. can
I'm
get
upset.
their fix. So what do you think? What banned food sounds good to you?
Actually, we should probably watch this video too, but anyways, I'm so upset about the Kinder one. I've had them before. They're so fire. They're so good. I love the Kinder surprise eggs. Obviously, they probably taste different now. I haven't had them in a while, but I missed them. I actually missed them. I'm screwing now. I missed them. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you